Leopold II, born on April 9, 1835, in Brussels, was the second king of the Belgians, ruling from 1865 until his death in 1909. He was the son of Leopold I, the first king of the Belgians, and Louise of Orleans. Growing up in a royal household, Leopold II was educated in a way befitting a prince, groomed for leadership and with exposure to European politics and culture. He married Marie Henriette of Austria in 1853, and the couple had 4 children, though only one son, Prince Leopold, survived infancy. Leopold II succeeded his father in 1865, inheriting a relatively small but strategically located kingdom in Western Europe. Belgium was a constitutional monarchy with a parliamentary system, and the king's powers were limited by the constitution. Nonetheless, Leopold II was ambitious and sought to expand his influence beyond Belgium's borders. Reign as King of the Belgians. Leopold II's reign was marked by his focus on modernizing Belgium and elevating its status among European powers. He was interested in urban development, architecture, and infrastructure within Belgium. Under his reign, the capital, Brussels, was transformed with grand boulevards, parks, and monuments, including the Royal Museums of Fine Arts and the Cinquantenaire Park. Despite these domestic achievements, Leopold II's true ambitions lay overseas. Unlike many other European monarchs who controlled colonies through their governments, Leopold took a highly personal approach to colonialism. The Congo Free State, private colony and controversy. Leopold II is most infamously known for his personal control over the Congo Free State, a vast territory in Central Africa. During the late 19th century, the European powers were engaged in the scramble for Africa, dividing the continent among themselves. Leopold was determined for Belgium to participate, but the Belgian government was initially reluctant to support colonial ventures. Using diplomacy, political maneuvering, and public relations, Leopold secured international recognition at the 1884–1885 Berlin Conference for his claim to the Congo Basin. However, the territory was not a Belgian colony but a personal possession of Leopold, under the guise of humanitarian and philanthropic goals. He called it the Congo Free State. In reality, Leopold's regime in the Congo was brutal. His administration sought to exploit the land's natural resources, particularly rubber and ivory, through a system of forced labor, harsh punishments, and violent repression. The indigenous population was subjected to horrific abuses, including mutilation, hostage-taking, and killings to meet rubber quotas. Millions of Congolese people died or were maimed during this period, which is now recognized as one of the worst atrocities of colonialism. Leopold maintained a facade of philanthropic work, presenting himself as a civilizing force. He funded scientific expeditions, missionary work, and infrastructural projects in the Congo, but these were largely overshadowed by the widespread suffering. International outcry and the end of Leopold's rule in Congo. By the early 20th century, reports from missionaries, travelers, and activists began to expose the atrocities in the Congo. The most famous campaigner against Leopold's regime was British journalist E.D. Morel, who, along with figures like Roger Casement, published detailed accounts of the abuses. The international pressure grew, and eventually, the Belgian government was forced to intervene. In 1908, the Belgian parliament annexed the Congo Free State, turning it into a formal Belgian colony known as the Belgian Congo. Leopold II was compelled to relinquish personal control but retained significant wealth gained from the colony. Legacy and death. Leopold II died on December 17, 1909, at the age of 74. He left behind a complex legacy. On one hand, he was credited with modernizing Belgium, commissioning significant public works, and promoting the arts. On the other hand, his legacy is forever tarnished by the catastrophic human cost of his exploitation of the Congo. In Belgium, Leopold II was celebrated for decades as a great king and founder of the Belgian colonial empire. His statues and monuments were erected in his honor across the country and its capital. However, in recent decades, as awareness of the Congo atrocities has grown, his legacy has been fiercely re-evaluated. Debates about colonialism, historical memory, and restitution continue, with many calling for the removal of his statues and a more honest reckoning with Belgium's colonial past. Personal traits and character. Leopold II was known to be a complex and secretive figure. His public image was that of a dignified monarch dedicated to his country and its prestige. However, his personal ambitions were ruthless, especially regarding the Congo. He was reportedly cold and calculating, prioritizing wealth and power over human rights. His personal life also reflected tragedy and isolation. His marriage to Marie Henriette was unhappy, and their son died young. Leopold was rumored to have had several mistresses and fathered children out of wedlock. Conclusion. Leopold II's life story is a powerful example of how European imperial ambitions shaped world history, with long-lasting consequences. His reign transformed Belgium into a more modern state but also led to one of the darkest chapters in African colonial history. The Congo Free State's legacy remains a subject of intense historical study, ethical reflection, and cultural reckoning. Leopold II is remembered both as a monarch who sought greatness and a ruler whose pursuit of wealth caused immense human suffering.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe our channel.